Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
An old man was telling his neighbor, I just bought a new hearing aid. It cost me $4,000, but it's state-of-the-art. It's perfect. Really, answered the neighbor. What kind is it? And the old man replied, $12.30. Morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America, followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning. Call in. Come on. It's a wonderful day. And a good morning to you and yours, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell, and good morning and thank you to our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. Big fall tire sale going on right now. And don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call, get on the route service, 734-6969. All right, now let's go to the Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir, and here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I heard you a little bit ago on the radio singing that ragged old flag. You're in good voice this morning.
Oh, it might have been somebody else. I don't know.
You know, we ought to do a duet sometime on that.
Pardon me?
I said we ought to do a duet on that song sometime.
Oh, that'd be great.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
I'd enjoy it.
I would, too. You have a great day, and God bless you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. That man can sing that song just as good as anybody. Ragged Old Flag. Good morning, everybody, and right now it's time for the weather. And the weather is brought to you by K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 West of Heyburn. Number to call, 678-3122. Oh, hello, Roger and the crew. They get there early in the morning. They open the doors at 7 a.m. and say, hello, world, we're here. And they can deliver the power tools and heavy equipment to your site, and then they'll come pick them up, too. Hey, they've been in business since 1979. They know what's going on at K&R Rental in Heyburn, 678-3122. Right now, here's the weather.
Well, it looks like we do have some rain showers in the forecast as we make our way to the weekend. For today, it's going to be partly cloudy skies, but this afternoon we do have a 20% chance of thunderstorms in the forecast with a high of 83. Tonight, more clouds rolling in, 30% chance of rain showers and thunderstorms in the forecast with a high of 57. And for tomorrow, looks like a 60% chance of rain showers with a high of 72. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina, and thank you to K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 West of Heyburn. Yep, they are really serving you with all the equipment you need. Whether it's forklifts to lawnmowers, they've got them all. Everything, and a lot of experience since way back in 1979. K&R Rental in Heyburn, 678-3122. Holy smokes, have we got, excuse me, a busy day today as I still try to get rid of this cold that I've had for 2 weeks. Now, Deanne came down with the same cold, and it stayed with her for about 48 hours and then waved goodbye and left. How come? Anyhow, not fair. Ramsey Heating and Electric, I got to tell you, we're going to be over there tomorrow. And we're going to get there early. You should, too. Why? because we're going to be serving breakfast down there at 7 o'clock, George and Donna Mass, biscuits and gravy. Oh, ho, ho, it's going to be good. And the proceeds of that breakfast are going to go to the Zeb Christmas Corral, where we take the funds and help needy families at Christmas time. So please come on down. Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. All your heating, cooling, and electrical needs, all of them. They've been serving you for over a half a century at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, 678-0459, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Absolutely. By the way, too, I can't ever say enough about the friendly staff, Thomas and Terry and everybody over at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland and Burley, and another location if you're in Twin Falls at 291 Pole Line Road. And the food is great. The service, phenomenal. You're going to love it, absolutely. And breakfast, lunch, and dinner anytime, all the time at America's Diner. I mean, I love breakfast, and I could just pick and choose breakfast off that menu from here to whenever. It is really, really good. You stop in and see them today. Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland and Burley, the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch. And our next lunch bunch will be on the 21st, which is next week. Okay? Everybody come on down. You know, I got to tell you that I think I've lumped these three words into what the Democratic Party is: dreamers, schemers, and unbelievers. The left has, in my opinion, and I know there's people out there driving down the interstate or going to work, whatever, that think, oh, yeah, the left has lost its mind and they've lost their value. Democrats are more in favor of aiding and assisting illegals and refugees than they are the citizenry of the United States. Underline the word citizenry, the taxpayers of the United States of America. This has got to stop. They scheme and they plot to resist and revolt against all of Trump's policies. And I dare anybody out there to tell me I'm wrong. I, in all my 69 years, have never seen more divisiveness. I've never seen more hatred. I've never seen more animus. I've never seen or heard more filthy language and derogatory language aimed at our president. I did not like at all, in any way, shape, or form, President Obama. I detested his ideology. But that's as far as the verbiage went on my part. I never once aimed anything at him personally to act in a derogatory manner like the Democrats are throwing at Trump today. This has got to stop. And they seem to be the party of unbelievers because of what's happening just recently with Dianne Feinstein and Dick Durbin of Illinois, acting against Christians and basically summing up the story that's going on back there. They have perpetrated the concept, Durbin, Feinstein, and some of the other Democrats, that believers in Jesus Christ, Christians, cannot hold a judgmental department. They cannot be a judge. They shouldn't be put in those positions. I never thought this country would go to this. I never thought that we would be separating our populace. Oh, there's the believers over there, and then there's us. That's what they think. And we have really got a challenge going on in this country that's going to get worse every day. It's going to get worse every day if we don't stand up. The old adage of Christians turn the other cheek, and then keep turning the cheek, keep turning the cheek, keep turning the cheek. It's time to stop. We're being relegated to the basement, and the Democratic Party is trying to lock the door. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, at times the calls come flooding in, and then at other times, come on, now give me a jingle. I want to hear from you. That's your duty, is to call in and share your thoughts. I really appreciate it. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Caller, I'll be right there, I promise. They are absolutely excellent. The best of physical therapists, the best of the exercises. They have the hydrotherapy pool there, the only one of its kind in the area. I was literally saved. It saved my legs and everything because of the many, many miles I walked in that hydrotherapy pool. And they can help you get back to being you. Absolutely. You call the number, make an appointment today, 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Absolutely the best. Caller, stand by. I'm coming. I just got to pay some bills and take care of all the necessary work right here in the studio. Autumn Haven. I want to remind everybody about Autumn Haven because absolutely it's an assisted living center that is the only assisted living facility in the Rupert area and able to provide more one-on-one care. Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 924 Christian Way in Rupert. Number to call, 436-3200. And they invite you to come on by. They invite you to take a tour. They invite you to ask questions. They invite you to really consider Autumn Haven for your loved one that needs that little extra care. They're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center in Rupert. Caller, thank you for your patience. You are on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb.
Hello, my friend.
Many countries that have a democratic mindset are now being overrun by Muslims. And it's happening in Canada. Canada, as of the 2016 census, has well over 1 billion Muslims, and the people are starting to complain up there.
Yeah.
There are all these people coming across the borders and everything, and they're being welcomed by the Democratic Party. They're coming here, and they're going to multiply and multiply until there are more of them than there are of us. And these people that are bringing them into the party, into the Democratic Party, are going to find out that they've made the big mistake when it's too late.
Yeah. Tony, do you get the Times News newspaper?
I dropped the Times newspaper because I do not like the Bolshevik Times newspaper. I just won't pay for that kind of garbage that they're putting out.
All right, but listen, it's very important because you're a very astute man of wisdom and knowledge about politics. Go get this morning's paper, and on the front page of the paper, I kid you not, top headline says, Report. Russians meddled in Twin Falls. The subheadline says, Report says Russians use Facebook to stage anti-refugee rally. I have never read such a bunch of bogus garbage in my life. Read it, call me tomorrow. You're not going to believe it when you see it.
Well, I believe anything that comes out of the mouth of that editor over there. He's so far to the left, he belongs in the Soviet Union. There's so much stuff going on here in Twin Falls, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I can go to our local markets, and I see people that can't speak English very well. They'll never have to work another day in their life. They're driving brand-new vehicles.
That really bothers me. You're 100% right. Yeah. I believe in helping people, and I have on this program, of which I'm very proud. My wife and I have dedicated the 25 or so years I've had this program into many, many charity events. And then I get the criticisms from the left because I am against the refugees coming in. I am against illegal aliens coming into this country. I am for a very closed border system. And then I'm called a bigot and a hate monger. You can't win, Tony.
Well, senior citizens haven't had an increase in their Social Security in about maybe 3 or 4 years. When you see the benefits that these people coming into this country, and many of them never have to work another day in their lives, driving brand new vehicles and everything else. And we see the power, the buying power of the senior citizens slowly being diminished because they're not getting any increases. They're getting these people that are coming in here are getting the benefit of the increases that the seniors should be getting and have paid for all these years.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I just get frustrated sometimes on this program and the left, the Democrats. You know, I have urged them, and you know this is true, Tony. I have urged them for years to come on this program and very professionally sit down and talk about their platform and their beliefs, and we could have a real good, friendly discussion. I have asked their powers that be of the Democratic Party locally and then also for the state, and they have been rude. They have hung up the phone on me, and they just showed the low class that they tried to promote within the state.
Well, I really don't see anything great coming up for the American people. Not right now, anyway.
Unfortunately, you're right. Tony, God bless you and Mary. Thanks. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks.
All right, buddy. Hey, don't forget, like we mentioned a little bit ago, about Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox. And Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox can make you feel good inside your home with an indoor comfort system. Yep, get up to a $1,600 rebate on a new Lennox home comfort system. All you have to do, call Ramsey Heating and Electric at 678-0459 today. Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox. Really good folks. By the way, too, our old buddy Scott Gano. Hello, Scotty. There he stands with a shovel and ready to go to work today, or he's got his tree trimmers. Holy smokes, what a crew. And they're busy. Gano Landscaping and Sprinkler Service. Pruning trees and making sure that none of those big limbs are going to sail through your big bay window through the winter storms or whatever. And now's a perfect time to think about putting in a new sprinkler system or revamping and fixing up the old one for next year. You better get a hold of him today. Scott Gano, Landscaping and Sprinkler Service. Call him today, 438-2485 or 431-8733. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. How? How did this woman get away with this? Well, it's because ESPN is now turned into a very far left, hate conservatives, hate Trump network. And it's true. There's a ESPN announcer. Her name is Janelle Hill. And I think it's very poignant to the story to point out that she is a black woman. Okay? Well, she came out and really blasted President Trump and called him a white supremacist. Now, let's all sit down, class. Put our pencils on the desk for a minute and remember not too long ago, World Series champion pitcher Curt Schilling, and he was hired by ESPN to be one of the staff announcers at various games. And away from the game, away from the television, he made a comment, and he was right, in my opinion. He was asked about the North Carolina bathroom bill, which favored the transgenders being able to go in anywhere they wanted to, and he said, absolutely not. He says, I'm a family man, I'm a Christian, and I don't believe in this. It's filth, and it should not happen. Well, I agree with him. But ESPN opened the door and gave him a swift kick in the posterior, and they fired him on the spot. But this woman, Janelle Hill, she can come out and call President Trump a white supremacist and other things, and she gets a little tap on the wristy, and she's still working there. That's not right. That is not right. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Okay, yawn, get it out of your system. Now dial the number and give me a call. I'd love to hear from you this morning. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I have just a quick second before I take your call that I know is coming in, I want to remind you about Harris Plumbing NG. Nathan Harris's staff, I'm telling you what, we had some problems last week, and I just thank the good Lord above that I knew of Harris Plumbing NG. Man, did they come by and take care of the problem. Our experience was excellent, and their service was way, way higher than I ever expected. And believe me, they've got a dedication to perfection and getting the job done and getting the job done right. Harris Plumbing NG, I urge you to call their number. When you need a plumber, you get the best. Harris Plumbing NG, 431-8633. That number again, 431-8633. Yes, I stand behind it. They are the best. Let's see, what else have I got here? Oh, tomorrow, again, I want to remind you, we are going to be at Ramsey Heating and Electric, and we're going to be there early in the morning at 7 o'clock because George and Donna Mass are going to be serving with their great big cook trailer biscuits and gravy. Oh, yum. And the reason I want you to come by, I need your help. I really do. We're going to take the proceeds from the biscuits and gravy, and we're going to help needy families at Christmas time with our Zeb's Christmas Corral. And so I urge you to come by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. We're going to have everything ready to be served, and that's at Ramsey's. Then we're going to have, for the entirety of my program, I'm going to sneeze in a minute. I can feel, you ever notice that a sneeze kind of gives you a little warning? It says, hey, I'm going to sneeze in a minute, be ready. Well, that's what happened. There, I feel better. Anyhow, then we're going to have the whole program right there from 8:06 to about 11. And we're going to be talking to folks involved in the farming with the Hats Off to Farmers salute, and then also our veterans. Thanks to George lining things up for me. And it's Patriots Week also. So this has been going on for about 18 years over at Ramsey Heating and Electric. You be there tomorrow. I'd love to have you there, okay? Thank you very much. Real quick, too, every Monday we give away a dozen cookies to Sophie's Chatterbox. We had a big winner the other day, and you can stop into their restaurant. Great food. Oh, it's good. And, of course, their great bakery. They've got everything over there. Pies, cookies, desserts, everything. At Sophie's Chatterbox, 530 East Street in Rupert. You stop in and see them today. Okay, what else is in the news this morning? Okay, Why would anyone listen to celebrities? Many of them, as a matter of fact, I'll even stick my neck out and say most of them had trouble graduating from high school. And the percentage numbers of graduating from college are very, very few and far between. But it seems like, and I've said this before, it's probably old hat to you, that celebrities, and this is not bragging, I've worked with a lot of them on various projects, and celebrities seem to think that because when they reach or attain a certain level of star status, that their IQ has gone up 10,000 points. You know, case in point, they were having a benefit last night, they being many of the singers and recording artists, etc. And basically, in the middle of the event, they stopped really being a charity, and they started being a politicized event. And I was really, really shocked at some of the things that came out of their mouths, and some of which were that if people didn't believe in climate change and didn't jump on the climate change bandwagon, they should be jailed. Others said it's a crime not to believe in climate change, and those people are stupid and they should be put away. This went on and on and on. Now, you can believe the balderdash about climate change if you want to. If you want to. It's a free society. At least it was yesterday. But when you really start talking to these people about what they want for so-called man-made climate change, that's when most all of them have no answers of any authenticity whatsoever. They don't know. And number one, many scientists, not just the hand-picked scientists by the government, many scientists say, no, there has been minuscule changes. Listen to this now. That's not Zeb speaking. It's the reports. Many of the scientists across the world have said there are minuscule changes in the Earth's warmth for the last 1,000 years. Minuscule. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. You know what I believe, ESPN is smarter than we think they are in the fact that they are reaching all these people in the sporting world, and now they've got a leftist pushing it harder. I think they're pretty smart doing that.
No, they're not.
I don't like it.
No, they're not, Keith.
They've outsmarted some people there.
No, let me tell you, I think you're 100% wrong on this, and you're a dear friend, and I'll tell you why. Michael Jordan in his prime, and when he was selling and really hawking his tennis shoes and everything through the Jordan Enterprises, he made a comment one time and he said, I want to make sure my tennis shoes fit the feet of Democrats and Republicans, and therefore I will not disregard either one. That is smart. What ESPN is doing is stupid. They're alienating a conservative audience. They're alienating a segment of the people, and quite frankly, ESPN right now, Keith, is in financial disaster. They are one step away from falling into the canyon of being broke.
Well, I agree with you there, and you pointed out something I never thought about. But I think the biggest part of the people in the United States listen to ESPN somewhere along the line. And so they're reaching them people, and that's what I'm getting at. They picked an avenue that is going to make them on the front page.
Well, why in fear? Let's say it's 50-50. Let's just say it's 50-50. Conservatives 50 and the liberal Democrats 50. Why would you want to alienate in a game of numbers? The media is a game of numbers. If the media and the people that they pose questions to, they're not listening to your program or they're not watching your program, you are in trouble because the ratings are going to go down, the advertisers are going to leave. You don't want to alienate a huge segment of your audience.
But what about CNN? If they haven't done the worst job in the whole world, that they got so much money they cannot be stopped?
No, you're making my point for me, Keith. CNN is in a lot of financial trouble right now. A lot of financial trouble. It's not me talking, it's the books. And I don't have to cook the books to tell you that they've alienated so many people. Their ratings are down too, so what does it tell you?
Well, it tells you that they're not telling the truth, and they're not telling it the way it really is. But yet they got a bunch of idiots like George Soros that keeps feeding them money and stuff to keep them going.
Well, I tell you what, there's a lot of other people involved in the mess, if you will, of the left. But as always, you're very thought-provoking in your thoughts. I appreciate it. God bless you and Nancy, and have a good day.
Well, I think about it, but I'm not always right. And, you seem to straighten me out pretty good.
Oh, believe me, my wife is the one that straightens me out, so it's a double-edged sword. Take care, my friend.
Thought-provoking, that's all.
All right, thank you very much. Calls welcome, 436-2244. Caller, I'll be right with you. Don't you dare go away. I want to remind everybody about a great employment possibility for you. You want to drive for a team that absolutely cares. You want to drive for a team that absolutely has the best in equipment. You want to drive for a team that cares about their drivers. It's Scott Jackson Trucking, 311 Rose Street in Jerome. The industry experts. Let me tell you, And they've got competitive pay jobs available right now, benefits, and they don't lay off in the so-called slow seasons. They are a team of professionals, and they welcome you to call and see if you want to join their team. Scott Jackson Trucking, 208-324-3004. Don't forget, Scott Jackson Trucking in Jerome, 324-3004. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir.
Well, how art thou?
I am good. And you?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to reserve comment until about 6 o'clock tonight.
Yep. Oh, I did see a news alert yesterday on that looting of the shoe stores down there in Florida.
Yes.
That no work boots were taken.
Okay, Dougie boy, you got me on that. That's a good one. I like that one. You know, and how true. How true. But boy, oh boy, did me and others like me take heat over saying that they should be shot on sight. I believe it because these are the vermin of our society that are absolutely trying to make profit off of other people's demise. And I stand behind my statement.
I'll stand right beside you. I do. Now, if it was a person who had gone, say they had circumstances come up and they lost everything, you know, some bills come up like medical bills or something like that, and they'd lost everything, and it was a food store, and they went in and got some milk and some hot dogs, something like that, so they could have something to eat. I could be compassionate for someone like that.
Well, wait a minute, Doug. There's been a lot of talk about that.
He drives up in new cars, runs in and steals high-end tennis shoes.
Yeah.
And runs out.
Yeah, Doug, there's been a lot of conversation about that over the last 72 hours, etc. And one gentleman that was a grocery store owner in Florida, I think he summed it up very succinctly, and I'm not going to be able to remember his exact phraseology, but he said, hey, I know right now everybody's suffering. I know right now that nobody knows where they're going to get their next meal for their children or bread or milk to feed the family. If they would just get a hold of me, I would give it to them because I know it's a time of need. You don't have to resort to looting, breaking in, and stealing.
Exactly. That's exactly it. There's a lot of compassionate people out there that are willing to help. But if you're not willing to help yourself, and only want to help yourself to other people's stuff because you think you deserve it, that's wrong. And that's where I feel that they should be punished to the fullest extent of the law, plus taken off, if they're a felon, they take off any public assistance for them and their families.
Well, you and I are on the same page there, but I have said on this program and taken heat for it, I said there needs to be a city by city, county by county, statewide overseeing of who is on welfare, who's on the dole, who's healthy enough to get a job, and then give them 60 days. Send them a nice little letter and say, on this date, you are going to be responsible for yourself. Adios, amigo. Don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out.
Exactly. Exactly. Well put. That's well put. And on the CSBN deal, I feel they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Because there are more conservatives who watch ESPN and sports, I think, than liberals.
I have got to the point, Doug, honestly, and I'm not saying this just to benefit the conversation this morning. Deanne knows this is true. I turn on the Major League Network for baseball, 152 on our television station, and I will watch the various football games on Fox and then also CBS. But I have really tuned out ESPN because of their liberal nature and their political involvement for the left. So I can honestly say that I have tuned them out. If I get a call from the Nielsen ratings and they say, do you watch ESPN and this and that, I'm going to tell them no. And the reason I don't watch them is because they're not a sports network. They've turned into a political affiliate arm of the Democratic Party.
Yes, and I feel that the
the conservatives, and I'm going to start doing it. I'm not going to watch ESPN, and I think we should pick a weekend. Everybody that protests the political BS on ESPN, we need to pick a weekend and watch nothing on ESPN. Don't even turn it on, even if it's our favorite team playing the favorite sport. Just do one weekend without it to send them a message. Say, hey, you want to go bankrupt? We'll put you bankrupt in a hurry.
Well, it used to be the original concept of ESPN was an all-sports network, and they grew in popularity. And now what have they got, like 5 or 6 different spots on the dial to reach, like ESPN2, ESPN3, ESPNU, ESPN News? I mean, it keeps going on. But they have done this to themselves because they adopted the left-wing philosophy of combining and overturning sports for political involvement to sway the public opinion.
Exactly. And I can't remember that guy's name that went off on a few rants on a halftime in a football game on his political stand.
Yeah.
And that was the start of their fall right there.
Well,
and it just turned me off.
I can give you another guy that works primarily for NBC, and quite frankly, I detest this man and his personality and his persona and also his character, and that's Bob Costas.
Yeah, he's one of them that went off on a rant.
Yeah.
I thought he was ESPN, but I was mistaken.
Yeah, Bob took it upon himself to condemn and damn gun ownership in this country and minimize us all to the point where we were country hicks and didn't know right from wrong.
Oh, you little minds.
Yeah. Hey, got to run, buddy. Thank you so much.
Okay. Hey, God bless. Hey, let's take care of our senior centers.
Amen.
And I'm going to go pick up that pair of boots and as soon as I find out where I can drop them off.
Well, you know what, Doug? And we're going to have, I was hoping to have the lady on this morning, I'm glad you brought this up, from Texas, that represents most of the FFA chapters in that area. And due to the flooding and everything, we've had a dickens of a time trying to get with her through Marty Mickelson. And I might even get a call from her sometime on the air this morning. So as soon as I hear from her, we'll know a lot more what's going on.
Okay.
Thanks,
all
buddy.
Right. Well,
appreciate it.
Let's take care of our senior centers, too.
All right, thank you. Barry Equipment and Rental. Oh, my goodness sake. Sales, service, and parts. Yep, they have all the equipment to get the job done right. And they're located on South Lincoln in Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Hello, Juan! And I keep saying this, and I really got to get in there and get a Bobcat excavator. Deanne's scared. She's up my life insurance. That I'm going to do something wrong with that Bobcat excavator. No! They've got them in all shapes and sizes. Easy to learn how to drive them. As a matter of fact, Deanne, rest. Be assured. I'm going to go out in the sandbox behind the store and learn how to run it before I come over here and tear down the shed. Anyway, Bobcat excavators, equipment rentals, retail equipment sales, everything for you at Barry Equipment and Rental. Jerome, Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Hey, by the way, before I go to the weather, this morning, I think they started about 2 hours ago. Let me see. Yeah, they started at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Hillary's book sales on what happened and her complete book of excuses as to why she lost the election. I got to tell you, I heard this news story last night. Overnight, before the book sales started this morning, officially, they dropped the price of the book like 40 or 45% because it's not a very good book. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning again. It's get even time.
All right, what can I do for you?
All right, I got a way where you could make quite a bit of money.
Well, tell me about it.
Okay. You go rent one of them Bobcats and advertise it for people to be spectators when you bring it home, and, you know, you could gather up quite a little bit of money there, and we'd be able to get a little action.
You're being nasty, Keith.
No, I'm telling it like it is. I'm the guy that remembers about the flowers remember?
Yeah, well, listen, there's no reason to bring up the history of my past events because all you're doing is causing an embarrassment. See you later.
Oh, you're one in a million, bud.
That's what a lot of people hope for. Thank you very much, my friend. God bless. I got to get into a weather forecast brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Oh, are you having trouble hearing, Bunky? You went to a party the other night and you just nodded your head. You have no idea what they said. Well, you better make an appointment for a hearing screening. And at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, true hearing health care should include tools and techniques that enhance communication for you and your loved ones. Well, all of this and more through Dr. Christine Pickup, and it is the only locally owned and operated independent healthcare system and practice in southern Idaho. Call them today at 312-0957. Right now, here's the weather.
Well, it looks like we do have some rain showers in the forecast as we make our way to the weekend. For today, it's going to be partly cloudy skies, but this afternoon we do have a 20% chance of thunderstorms in the forecast with a high of 83. Tonight, more clouds rolling in, 30% chance of rain showers and thunderstorms in the forecast with a high of 57. And for tomorrow, looks like a 60% chance of rain showers with a high of 72. That is your weather for Zeb at the Rain.
Okay, thank you. Call for an appointment today at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And hear what you're missing. The number to call, 312-0957, right across from the Minidoka Hospital Emergency Room, the best. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. I want to go back just a little bit, if I can, into talking about this climate change, etc. Have you really sat down and thought? I mean, take a piece of paper and a pad of paper. Take a piece of paper and a pad of paper. That didn't make a lot of sense. Let's back up. And take a pen and a pad of paper. Sounds much better when you say it correctly. And just start jotting down the things that if they, being the left, get their way on energy, and they get their way on stopping gasoline engines and automobiles, how would it affect your life? Now, can you afford to buy a brand spanking new electric car? Can you afford to not go certain places and do certain things? Can you afford two electric cars? Because maybe your spouse has other activities and possibly another job or running the kids here, there, and everywhere, and you need two brand new electric cars. Now, can you afford the increase in your electricity bill, which is going to go woo through the roof? And can you depend on the grid, the electrical grid, to take care of all the millions and millions upon millions of new electric cars? Ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. Anybody that's involved in power can tell you right now our grid is stretched to the max. It's a rubber band about ready to break. Not me speaking, but the experts. And these absolute twits that are out promoting electric vehicles. Oh, it's the wave of the future. And then they listen to China. And China said the other day, if you didn't hear this, that they have a plan to ban gas engines in their country. Ooh. Well, I'll tell you what, if one country wants to have this idiocy and other countries pick up on it, you and I are challenged, and we're going to be returning to a Stone Age type living where you better line up somebody like old Ray Bagby and have him make you a buckboard and sell you a team of horses, because that's all you're going to have. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, can we afford the pollution that them batteries are going to cause? And the cost of all the producing of these horrible things.
You know, Jerry, Jerry, wait a minute.
Does pollute, I'll agree, but batteries pollute more.
Oh, Jerry, wait a minute. Let me get in here on you. What you just said is extremely important. And these batteries, these so-called batteries, with a range of about maybe 310 to 370 miles. What's Jerry Voss going to do if he has to go to Portland or Seattle? What's Jerry Voss going to do if all of a sudden he's out between John Day, Oregon and nowhere, and the battery goes, oops, we were wrong, you're dead now, you can't plug it in, you're way away from a charging station. This is lunacy. But the fact is, Jerry, how are we going to put all these cars on an electrical system that isn't big enough to absorb them?
Well, we can't handle the electricity needs we got now.
That's right.
Let alone increasing as many, automobiles as are running. And, I think what you're going to be doing is walking. And, that's going to be a long walk to Portland. Things are going to degrade. We're going to go backwards, way backwards.
Right on, Jerry. I just don't understand these lunatics that think that we can overnight just go away from fossil fuels. It is not going to happen. You wouldn't have any bread in the grocery store because the trucks would not be running. No trucking company and all the trucking companies, they can't switch over to battery-operated electric vehicles. You wouldn't have anything delivered as clothing. I mean, we'd be looking at total chaos.
And, Ray Bagby's idea of the stagecoach and the covered wagon is a wonderful thing on display. But if you tried to make it a practical thing to use, it'd be completely ridiculous. Where are you going to store all the hay and all the grain that you need to feed them horses, plus store the horses? You just don't have the room.
What
There's too many people. We've grown too much.
You made my story.
We're a lot bigger than we were in the 1800s.
You made my story for me, Jerry, because we're not about to go into a regressive state. These lunatics and these absolutely not very smart people that are pushing for electric cars, and they're pushing for energy control, and they're pushing for climate change, and they're pushing for everybody to live basically in a cave and burn buffalo dung. It's absolute lunacy. But the problem is the real people that are guilty are you and I, Jerry, because we're not standing up and telling them to take a long walk off a short pier.
And another thing there, the pollution factor from the waste from the animals alone, it'd be like everybody in the country taking away their toilets and putting in outhouses. And instead of having, flushing toilets that take it away to the sewer systems and that, we'd all have an outhouse behind the house. Just think all the havoc, disease, and crap that this would cause. We'd have people dying everywhere from just the pollution factor alone of what they're talking.
I was trying to avoid that aspect of the problem, but now that you have pronounced the issue in front of my audience, the breakfast hour, thank you so much.
Well, another thing about that, we wouldn't have to worry about natural gas anymore because we'd have it behind our house.
Just don't strike a match. Jerry, thank you. God bless you, my friend. Thank you.
Hey, you have a wonderful day. May the Lord bless you.
All right. Thank you. It reminds me of the Christmas movie with Chevy Chase, Christmas Vacation. Don't light that match! Kaboom! Santa Claus and the reindeer flying over the moon. Hey, don't forget, everybody deserves to feel good inside, and you can be cozy and warm this winter after you have a comfort system from Lennox Home Comfort Systems through our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 678-0459. Call today and check out how you can get a $1,600 rebate on a new Lennox Home Comfort System at Ramsey Heating and Electric in Burley. Also want to say thank you, and I mean this, to our dear friend. Yesterday, I had the Les Schwab touring truck stop in that fixes all the flats around the area and everything. And they fixed a trailer that I needed to have hay hauled on for my steers and everything. And this guy that fixed my tire yesterday, Kevin, did a wonderful job. And he noticed, I didn't know it, I had a flat tire on my trailer. And I mean, the service is phenomenal. They really care. And I thank Kevin for being so observant. He said, "Did you know you had a flat trailer tire?" And I went, Boy, that would have been a mess if I would have had to leave in a hurry with the horses or something. Holy cow. I thank them. Their service is impeccable. And I thank all 7 locations. They're having a big fall tires sale right now. And doing the right thing matters at all 7 Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. A lot of their great tires are on sale right now, like the Wild Country Trail 4SX. All-terrain tread, improved tire life for your pickups and SUVs. That's just one of them. Stop in and see them today. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Absolutely the best. We are going to take a little break right now. And I never did check. Wheels, did you ever make it to work on time this morning or not?
Yeah, I did. I made it on time, and I'm glad that I was able to get here.
Well, you know what? So are we. So thank you.
I know. Gina told me that you told her to not pick on the crippled.
Nah, don't say anything like that. Nah, never. Sometimes you say things that shouldn't be said. There you go. Hey, we're glad you're there at the studio.
My morning, though.
All right, buddy. Hey, we're going to take a little break right now and send it back over to our main studio. And news next from CBS. Don't go away. Dave Bigo coming up at 9:06. I love that piano. I love that music, man. Oh, man. Good morning, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations and a big fall tire sale going on right now. And including some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Waste Services.
Do you need a dumpster? Well, I'll tell you what we do. I do. I'm going to go and get them to bring me one, Western Waste Services, and park it out my back window, take the screen off, and just pitch and throw. That's the window to my office. I'm just going to clean it all up. I've had it. So is Deanne. Anyway, they've got dumpsters in various sizes. All you have to do is call. They'll drop one off. You fill it up. They'll come get it. What a deal. Always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, 734-6969. Don't forget, we're going to be over at Ramsey Heating and Electric tomorrow all morning, and we're going to have breakfast at 7. Come on by. The proceeds of that breakfast go to the Zeb Christmas Corral to help needy families at Christmas time, and then we'll be broadcasting over there for the entirety of my program tomorrow at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. And, oh my, yes, say thank you to Joel Heward, his family, and his staff at Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. They are so involved in the community. They're so involved in helping you. And like I've said many, many times, when there's the passing of a loved one, they are there to serve you and your family with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Please, please remember the number. Call them. They can and they will help you. 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. You call them today. It's Wednesday, and it's nice to have a smiling face on the other end of the line with his great big feet up on the desk and leaning back in his comfy leather chair. Good morning, Dave Bigo.
Good morning, Zeb, but I'm not like you. I don't have my feet up on the desk.
Believe me, if I put my feet up on the desk where I have my studio, I would tip over on the back of my neck. So
You better not do that. And, I heard you talking about Western Waste Services and the dumpster outside. You need a big dumpster because of your basketball shooting abilities.
Now, whoa, wait a minute. You know what? I'm 69 years of age. But I would challenge you to a free throw shooting contest any day of the week, Bigo. You might be an All-American honorable mention from the state of Indiana, but I'll take you on.
Yeah, well, good luck, okay?
Okay. Well, I don't need the good luck. I'm going to wish you to just have the best of skills because it's going to take that to beat me.
Yeah. I think, Zeb, I still play basketball full court 1 day a week against other guys a lot younger, so I'm on my game.
Well, it's like old Jordan said, you can run up and down the court, you can work up a sweat, but if you can't put the ball in the hoop, you ain't no good. So...
I could put it in the hoop from anywhere.
All right, buddy. Hey, listen, Dave, there's nobody that I would know that is more knowledgeable of what's going on down in Florida. I know quite a bit about the Texas situation, and we're trying to aid and abet a lot of those people that lost a lot or everything down in Houston area. What is the situation over in Florida? Give us kind of an update, if you would.
Florida, I think some big parts of it kind of lucked out and didn't get hit as bad as they thought they would, except the Florida Keys down there. It's really pretty bad, and I've even got a friend whose sister is living down there. I was talking to him yesterday, and she says it's as bad as she's ever seen it, and so I think that's going to be the area that's most focused upon, and then maybe the Marco Island, Naples area a little bit. But some of the other areas, it kind of, downgraded itself, and things didn't get hit as hard. And I'm not getting a lot of bad reports from people I know down there.
Dave, I've seen the devastation, and it was kind of two different types of hurricanes. I want to see if you agree with this. Hurricane Harvey that hit in the greater Houston area was a water-damaging storm. And it seems like from the accounts and the people I've talked to down in Florida, whether it's Naples or whether it's up in the Jacksonville area, I know that area really well. I've done a lot of rodeos down in Florida. They said that their problem was the wind, so it seems like two different hurricanes, two different problems.
Yeah, there wasn't as much rain down there, and it was more wind damage than anything else. And like I said, the people I've talked to that have places down there, it's more trees and stuff like that that have fallen over and caused damage in areas, and of course, blocked roads and all that kind of stuff. But the rain part of it was not bad at all.
I cannot remember the name of the island on the west side of the state. Help me. It just slips in my mind right now. And they were saying that, man, they really got hit with the wind, and it's going to be a massive cleanup on that island on the west side of Florida, and I can't think of the name. Help me.
Is that Marco Island?
Marco Island. That's it, yes.
Yeah, that's closer to the Keys, and that's where it really still is a Category 4 or so, and it got hit pretty hard. But once it got up on landfall and that, it seemed to start losing its intensity, and as it got past Naples and that towards Fort Myers, it actually turned inland and away from some of the west coast, so it spared a lot of that area, and then it started just really downgrading from there.
Dave, what do you think now after we're looking at 9+ months of the Trump administration being in office? You are a businessman, an entrepreneur, you hire a lot of people, you have a large employment. What are your thoughts as a businessman as to the first 9 months of this administration? What's the climate for business people?
Well, right now, business seems to be okay. I mean, I don't think it's as good as what the media would like to think it is, or what other people. But it's pretty good. But what we see out there right now is a couple of things that's really hurting business. number one, we got to get rid of the entitlement programs and all that kind of stuff, welfare and that, reduce them so we encourage people to get back to work. Because everywhere I go, employers in all different companies, whether it's manufacturing or services industry like us, they're complaining they just can't find people. And it's amazing. In fact, what's happening now, employers are stealing employees from each other because they can't get enough people to work. And I think Trump and his administration needs to get the entitlement welfare program straightened out. And I think they need to get the taxes straightened out. If they do that, I think you'd see more investment, more growth in the economy. And there's two things I wish he'd really put a focus on, and then, of course, getting a budget through.
Dave, as a businessman, you're really great at answering this, but now business people today, they're looking at kind of a double-edged sword, aren't they? Number one, they've got to work really hard to make sure their products are sold and that the public wants to do business with them. And on the other side, they've got to make sure that they have the employees to get the job done. I mean, it's like a double slap to the face. And I know a lot of employers right now that they are telling me their business is suffering because they can't find people to go to work. How are we going to change that in this country? I mean, what's the answer?
Well, like I said, it's not as the unions would like to tell you, and some other really liberal areas would like to tell you. It's about increasing minimum wage, but that's not the point. Again, it's about the entitlement programs that too many people, can stay home and get aid for dependent children and other food stamps and all that kind of stuff. They go around and pretend they're going to want a job and apply for jobs, but don't take them and stay on unemployment and that. And it's too easy for them not to work. And we've got to scale that stuff back and incentivize people to go out and work and do the right things.
I was talking, we've got a little line break up here this morning. Wheels, how is it over at the station? I noticed that we're getting a lot of static. Is it all right to continue, or do we need to reestablish?
No, you should be able to continue. It's not too bad right now.
All right, thank you. Dave, a lot of these things I've talked about on my program, and I think, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, I think there needs to be a city by city, county by county, state by state overseeing of who is receiving what, and they need to go through these files, and they need to let these people know that are deadbeats and leeches on the system. They have 60 days to find a job, or it's adios. Don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out, because you're going to be self-responsible for your own food, your own future. No more being a leech on the state. What do you think?
Well, I think that's true, and like I say, with the federal government, the same way. And problem is, we just don't have people in government that really want to address this issue, because, at the end of the day, they don't want to do things that'll hurt votes when the election time comes. And that's the biggest problem we have with the government today. And, the other problem we have that's really hurting business is with the open borders and that, and then people in this country illegally still, that there's a lot of companies hiring these people and paying them under the table, 1099 them, but they're not paying any payroll taxes or anything like that, and they're paying them such low wages. I mean, it's below minimum wage, that it hurts companies that are doing things the right way.
Yeah. What do you think, Dave, about, I don't know what the status is politically back in Indianapolis, Indiana, but when you hear about these mayors, Rahm Emanuel in Chicago, and then, of course, San Francisco, Sacramento, Los Angeles, they all want to become sanctuary cities, and now there's a big push in California to make the entire state a sanctuary state. This scares me. What are your thoughts about this idiocy moving towards complete anarchy against the United States?
Well, it is. It's, these people, again, this is all about political power, and the Democrats are really, concerned about their future, and they need the votes, and people say, well, these people aren't eligible to vote. Trust me. And think about this a minute. The Democratic Party doesn't want voter ID law, and the reason they don't is they get these people bused to the polls, and a lot of people that help them are like the union I fought, the SEIU. They bust them to the poll, get them in there, and get them to vote, and tell them who to vote for. And the Democrats are desperate that they need more votes, and they're going to appeal to this part of the population to keep their base. And it's crazy. We need voter ID laws, and we need to do things the right way. And if you as a party want to survive, then you need to rethink how you do things and improve who you are.
You know, Dave, just now, this morning, as we speak, I believe I'm correct in saying this. I had a news blurb come across my desk prior to going on the air this morning that Maryland, the state of Maryland, and many of its larger cities are going to vote today whether or not they should allow illegal aliens the right to vote. This is insanity, Dave.
Well, it absolutely is. But you look at that state and where it leans politically, it's not surprising at all. And it's in some of these big cities, it's crazy. And they're trying to hold on to political power.
What about the SEIU? What about other labor unions, the AFL-CIO, etc.? You're not hearing a lot about them, but are they laying in the weeds, just formulating new plans? What's going on here?
Well, they're behind the scenes. They're fighting the right to work laws, trying to, like Missouri just passed it, but the union bosses in Missouri, they're so desperate to keep their power. They've put pressure on to keep, and been able to delay implementation of the law. This kind of tells you what's going on behind the scenes. And we've got 28 states that have passed the right to work law, so we got 22 more. And the unions in these states that aren't right to work now, they are just really pushing hard to make sure that doesn't happen, because here's the bottom line. Union officials can legally order workers fired for refusing to pay their union dues in non-right-to-work states. And they don't want to give people that chance to not pay union dues because they continue to lose membership and they continue to lose income. And it's all about the income for their pocketbook and their political agenda.
Absolutely.
We're going to see this get worse and worse, and we're going to see a lot of conflicts out there. We really are.
You know, I agree with you, and I want to ask you a couple of other shotgun questions this morning. Number one, ESPN. I know that you're a sports nut like I am, but I am refusing to turn on the dial to any one of the 5 or 6 ESPN outlets because it's turned into a left-wing political news network, if you will. And the comment that was made by the black woman announcer, Janelle Hill, and her calling President Trump a white racist, she got away with this with nothing more than a slap on the wrist with a very, very small ruler, whereas, if you'll remember, Kurt Schilling, a couple of years ago, was asked about the North Carolina bathroom bill, and he said he was absolutely against it because this country needs to get back to more morality and safety for our children. ESPN dumped him from their Monday Night Baseball broadcast in a heartbeat. A double-edged sword, and it's a left-leaning station.
Yeah, it's sad. It is. I don't watch it anymore. And you look at these things, and again, Zeb, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about this on your program, is that what people have to understand behind the scenes, the left and the unions are controlling the media and telling them what to do. And it's getting worse and worse because, again, desperate people are doing desperate things. And you look at all this stuff like with Antifa. Soros is behind that, and the unions are behind it, and they're inciting these protests. The same with Black Lives Matters and other things. And these people think that the only way that they can reestablish themselves is through bringing this country down and taking over and using their power. They don't want to. They don't want to work in our free market system. That's the bottom line.
Absolutely. By the way, when you mention desperate people, I'll be darned. Do you know whose name popped right into my head? Why, it was Hillary Clinton with her new book. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I saw some polls on Rasmussen today that the majority of Americans think that she needs to retire, and I think that just points out that how desperate she is, and that she wants to stay in politics and continue to make her money going around speaking and doing other things and all that, and but it's time for her to get out of politics and go find a job.
Why do you think that the Democratic Party is putting up with this? I know that many of the Democrats, to their favor, I got to say this, they have literally come out and said Hillary, and I'm going to use some of the language that they used. I'm not going to refer to all of it, but they said, Hillary, please shut up. She's doing more damage right now than she's doing any good. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the Republicans like it. But, the Republicans, speaking of them, they need to get their act together and coalesce as a party and do the right things for this country and not the right things for them getting reelected. We're seeing some of the same problems on that side of the table. And, we need to go in and get our tax laws changed. We need to get our budgets done and cleaned up. And we need to reduce our debt in this country and get rid of the entitlement programs, but, go through and clean those up and incentivize people to go to work and all this. And the Republican Party seems to want to just lay back and not do anything. They're getting to be like Democrats in certain ways.
One final thought here, Dave. We don't have a lot of time left, but I want you to comment on this. Dianne Feinstein and Dick Durbin. I mean, I am absolutely appalled that these Democrats would sit there and they would almost have a litmus test for possible judges and the appointment of judges, but if you're a Christian, don't bother to apply because we don't want you. This is insane, and it's going on right now.
Oh, Zeb, when you look at people trying to bring down this country, you're talking about Marxist, communist, socialist type of people. They don't believe in religion and God. And, it's really, really sad. And America needs to wake up to that fact. I mean, that's where we went back in the, when Hitler was involved and the Soviet Union and everything else. And they couldn't beat us in an all-out war, so now they're trying to beat us internally.
On a somewhat lighter note, as I stand and I look at the Colts jersey that is hanging here on my wall as a remember and a reminder of our friendship, they don't look so good this year.
I'll tell you, Zeb, and I've talked to a lot of business friends about this. In fact, I was at a golf outing yesterday and talked to a bunch of them, and everybody just shakes their head and says, we need a new coach. He's a nice guy, but he doesn't know how to stand up to these guys and get them to do their job. And unfortunately, younger people like that, just out of college and been in pro football, they've got their own attitudes, and you got to get them to understand that no, you're going to do it our way, and this is the way we're going to do it if we're going to be successful. And he just doesn't have the fortitude to do that, and so they go out and do what they want to do, and it shows up on the field.
Yeah,
I mean, L.A. killed him.
And on the other side of the coin, far be it from me to wave the banner of the green and gold, but I have to say Green Bay looked fairly good against the Seahawks.
Yeah, I didn't get to see it, but it sounds like they did, and I'm hoping they have a good year, and I wish the Colts could have a good year, but none of us are very optimistic out here.
Well, my dear friend, God's blessings to you. You mean a lot to this family. You mean a lot to this program. Thank you for your weekly involvement. Dave Bigo, author of 2 books, The Devil at Our Doorstep, The Devil at My Doorstep, and just an all-around good guy. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you.
Well, thank you, Zeb. Thank what you do and for what you do, and you have a good week out there.
All right, buddy. Take care. Thank you so much. I really like that man, Dave Bigo, Indianapolis, Indiana. Quite a businessman, big businessman, and he understands what's going on politically. Don't forget our friends with Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox. Oh, yes, you can receive up to a $1,600 rebate and a qualifying system purchase with Lennox Home Comfort Systems. That's right, through our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric in Burley, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. You stop in and check out today a home comfort system from Lennox and Ramsey Heating and Electric in Burley. You know, I got to tell you that one of the great things that's happened, it's been 9 years already. I did not know that. 9 years ago, I talked to Nick over at Let's Ride. I can't believe it's that long. Somebody must have changed the numbers. Anyway, he talked me into buying a couple of four-wheelers. Oh, I am so thankful to him. We've had a lot of fun on those four-wheelers. Gone all over the Northwest with them. Really appreciate it. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Saturdays, they're open 9 to 4. You know what? They have got all kinds of dirt bikes in there. Brand new line of dirt bikes. Yep. And they're having a great deal right now going on watercrafts to get ready for next year in the water, on the lakes, on the river, etc. And as you know, I hate to say this, but it's true, winter is right around the corner, and they've got new snowmobiles coming in every day. Where? At Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, where the fun is sold. Really good people. By the way, too, over in that area, our friends at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits. They can and they will protect you, your family, and your business. Get a hold of them today. They're dedicated and responsive to your needs. They can. They will help. 436-4424, the number to call. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. You get a hold of them today. Holy smokes, we've got a guest waiting. We're going to be right there. I'm busier than a one-legged man in a kicking contest right now, so stand by. I want to remind you, too, about Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center at 924 Christian Way in Rupert. Number to call, 436-3200. And believe me, they make every effort to make Autumn Haven the best place. That's right. And they're able to provide more one-on-one care for your loved ones. They're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. Don't forget, Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center at 924 Christian Way in Rupert, 436-3200. Wow, right now, I get a chance to visit with a gentleman that's been on my program in the past, and I cannot wait to talk to him about stupid people. That's my favorite subject this morning, stupid people. Hello, Brian Crabtree. How are you?
Doing well. Good to be with you.
You know, Brian, I got to tell you, I was reading all about your little article about your carbon footprint in flooded Florida and how the Hollywood elites and the entertainer elites, it seems funny to me, and I can honestly say this because I've been in about a half a dozen movies and I've worked with some of these so-called stars, many of which don't even have a high school diploma, but when they get out in front of the public and they have the star behind their name, they seem to have an IQ that escalates to 10,000. How would you respond to that?
Well, Stevie Wonder last night, he had that organ like from the 1980s movie Coming to America. Remember Reverend Ground? You know, that was Arsenio Hall that played in Coming to America, where he was just obnoxious. That's what Stevie Wonder reminded me of last night as I'm watching him with the organ and the drama. And I have to sit here and think, Americans aren't really buying this, are they? I guess to some extent they did. They raised $43 million for the hurricane victims. Oh, my. But this wasn't about raising money for hurricane victims. This was about self-aggrandizement and showing how much more morally superior they are than the rest of the country who is contributing to the carbon footprint. I'll tell you what they don't know, and I think this is what most Americans get a sense of. The reason for these hurricanes is not because of global warming. It has absolutely nothing to do with global warming. If you look at the first 50 years of the 20th century, last century, you have just as many, and in some cases more powerful hurricanes impacting the coast. They didn't name them then. The difference is that you didn't have millions of people crowded up on the coastline with concrete and houses taking away permeable soil. So you see the damage, and things look far worse now because so much of our culture has converged around 50 miles in and 50 miles inland or closer to the waterways of America. That's what the issue is. It's nothing to do with global warming.
You know, Brian, I'm really glad to have you on the air because you sound like a person that's really studied this, looked into the issue, etc. But, you know, let's talk a little bit more clarity about the climate change or the global warming, if you will. These nincompoops that haven't got the IQ of a box of sand, they're the ones that are out promoting that all of us should get rid of today our gasoline cars or diesel pickups, and we should all buy electric vehicles. This is one aspect of it. And these people are not smart enough to realize that our grid, our electrical grid right now is so overtaxed that we could absolutely fall into darkness tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. And if you add all these multi-million and million of cars onto the electrical grid, where's the power going to come from, my friend, to turn the doggone key on?
Well, that's one of the issues, again, you brought up, maybe without realizing it, one of the issues with a lot of these floods that come in the wake in Katrina and Hurricane Harvey especially, is that we now have all of these dams that were built in the 1920s and 30s and 50s and 60s, and those dams are hydropower dams, and there's water churning through, and we've created a change to the waterways as well in order to harness the power of that water to create power for our electrical grid. On top of that, we have some nuclear power plants. Those present a risk. Some of them had to be shut down to avoid that nuclear catastrophe during some of these storms as a preventative caution. What do we do with all of these spent nuclear rods? That becomes a problem at some point. It may be cleaner and more productive energy, but it comes with a high risk. Look at what happened in Japan a few years ago. Then you've got coal-powered plants. Those are still in existence. You have fossil fuel plants. You can have an electric car on the U.S. Virgin Islands, and it would be powered by diesel generators. That's how they power their cars in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So what they're missing is that you said nincompoop, and that's the right word. They're missing the fact that in order to generate the electrical power that we would use in these electrical-powered cars, which are 3 times as expensive as the cars you and I drive, by the way, we have to still create carbon into the air, and in some cases, we're creating as much carbon and generating the electricity as we are in our cars, depending on the fuel efficiency of the vehicle.
I was listening the other day to a gentleman by the name of Roy Spencer, and Roy really understands the so-called climate change movement, and he made a statement that really perked up my ears. He said, you can listen to the chosen few that the government wants to hail as scientists that claim global warming and climate change is absolute. But he said the facts are that the Earth in general over the last 1,000 years has not warmed up hardly a smidgen. Here's a man that knows and studies this, and he really laid it out in the open for the so-called government scientists.
Well, it's cyclical. Everything is cyclical, from even our financial markets to science to what we're seeing in terms of hurricanes. Yeah, we never have before in recorded history had 2 Category 4 hurricanes make landfall in the United States in the single year. But we have had massive storm numbers of hurricanes. We had, I think it was 1930s, we had 12 named big storms that were somewhere in the system. So if you look back and you take a look at a Hurricane Katrina or a Hurricane Irma or a Hurricane Andrew, Hurricane Harvey, you can find a counterpart prior to 1950 and after 1900 that is equally as strong and in some cases even more powerful than those are. The hurricane of 1900, as an example, comparing it to Harvey, was more powerful, more devastating, and more death-ridden than was Harvey. Between 6,000 and 12,000 people died. It completely destroyed Galveston. In fact, it's why Houston is such a large center for the economy of Texas right now, because Galveston was the big powerhouse of that region, and it was destroyed in 1900. Again, I go back to the main reason that these storms seem to be so much worse now than they were 50 to 100 years ago, which is because we've built so much along the coast, the water has nowhere to go. There's so many more people that are being impacted, whereas the story was a few thousand impacted in the 1930s, it's now a few million because we love living on the sand.
You know, when you think about it, though, what's the matter with the younger generation today? Many are devoid of any education and common sense, and also they're teachers in the school systems. I mean, really, look at energy. Look at what we need for energy to grow our food. Look at the jobs that are dependent upon energy. Look at all the production that needs to be done every single day in this country to keep this country economically afloat. They don't care. They want to make it regressive to where we live in a cave and burn buffalo dung. These people have no common sense.
Well, they see a world where you and I and your listeners will be up and down the streets with our horse and buggy and the smell of cow or horse manure again, and they'll be driving around in their electric Teslas, which is the big, powerful electric car. And there's nothing wrong with driving an electric car. I'm not making light of that. I'm just simply saying they don't really see the totality of what they're pushing. They want us to degrade our economy. And our country on the world stage is probably one of the most efficient in green energy and trying to be green and doing things that keep the planet from being polluted. I'm not against all of these initiatives by any stretch of the imagination, but the real problem is in China. They should take all of their focus and all their energy and look at the fact that people walking around in Hong Kong have to wear masks most of the time because the air is so polluted. They're cheating. What the world really wants to do is keeping the earth clean in China so that they can take advantage of us economically, and we keep pushing to push our regulations and restrictions so far more egregious that we can't do business, which means that as we do that, we send more businesses to China to manufacture more items. Then the carbon footprint of China on manufacturing those same items is probably 2 or 3 times what it is for those items in the United States. So as we tighten up our restrictions, we cause more to be made in China where there's almost no controls on pollution, thus polluting the planet even more. We're better to keep it here, stop overburdening our businesses here, and start putting our pressure collectively on countries like China that not only are cheating the planet, but cheating us, literally.
Absolutely. Before I let you go this morning, I also want you to talk a little politics about Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell and Trump and Chuck and Nancy, strange bedfellows. What do you think's going on right now back at the Trump administration in the Oval Office?
I think Trump is going to get tax reform done, or, I'm not predicting that, by the way, but he's going to get tax reform done, or some of these congressmen and women that are not helping him a lot, and a few of these senators like Jeff Flake of Arizona, who are up for re-election in 2018, are going to get primaried, and you're going to have operatives for Trump like Steve Bannon, Trump himself, in some rare cases, I think, actually going out to pull the rug out from under people. I think Jeff Flake, it's coming. He's already 48 to 21 in the polls in Arizona in the Republican primary, and he's got the 21. Dr. Kelly Ward, who put a pretty good showing against John McCain in 2016, is the 48, and that shows you where the Republican voters are in their hearts and minds, and Trump knows it. So what's going on is Trump sending a message that I'm going to work with Democrats where I can get stuff done, and I'm going to pull the rug out from under you Republicans who are stopping me from getting stuff done. And I think that's exactly what Drain the Swamp looks like.
I want to just have you highlight and talk about, if you would, one person in particular that I think has absolutely served way too much time back in the Senate, and that's Mitch McConnell. This man is nothing more than a thorn in the bottom of anybody's foot back there. I think it's time to ask him to leave, and if not, show him the door yourself.
Well, it's not going to happen, but I think you're probably right, and I'm not mistaken. He's got 5.5 more years because I think he was just reelected. So right. if that's I think a lot of Republicans and a lot of conservatives, including me, share that view. But I think it's a bit of a pipe dream. He's very powerful. He is able to pull off things such as, it wasn't just simply waiting. He pulled off the block of Judge Merrick Garland that was appointed by Obama to replace Scalia in the Supreme Court, and effectively hammered through Justice Gorsuch from the Trump pick. And so those kinds of things show you his power, not only his power as he harnesses it with Republicans to sit down and shut up, but also some Democrats. And that you can't deny. And a lot of people give him credit for that. I'll give him credit for that. I won't dismiss that. On the other side, that same deviance, that same kind of wickedness that's described in how he pulls that off to conservative benefit, also is to our detriment. he is, in my view, one of the worst of politicians who says all the right things on the stump, who says all the right things on the stage. But ultimately, we heard it in the Steve Bannon 60 Minutes interview. The first meeting with Trump, the first thing he says is you got to lose all the drain the swamp language. We just can't have that. It shows you that perhaps he may be the most powerful man in Washington, and the problem with that power is it's not totally conservative. And so I think you're right. I think most conservatives and Republicans across the country believe that he should go, but at the same time, it's not going to happen, so it's better to harness the beast as much as we can, as opposed to attempting to kill it to our own peril.
One final thought for you this morning, Brian. I'm sure that you got out of bed really early this morning and went down to your favorite bookstore and stood in line so that you could purchase Hillary's book, What Happened?
Well, I didn't, unfortunately. I don't think I'll read that diatribe, and that's what it is. It's political vomit, and if I was going to buy it, I'd probably go on down to Walmart where it's already discounted 40% because they probably realize that the Walmart customer is unlikely to give they don't give a care about Hillary Clinton's book and all of the reasons she lost the presidency. We all know we could write that book in about 3 sentences. Maybe I can get it out in one. Hillary Clinton lost the presidency because she's crooked, detached, and the American people simply can't stand her. I think that's the book that should have been written, and unfortunately we got some other rendition that starts to blame everyone but herself for her 40 years of political wrongdoing and basically criminal activity.
You know, Brian, really, last thought on this. Why hasn't someone really taken her by the elbow off into a corner of a room and just basically told her, Hillary, shut up, you're hurting everybody?
Well, I think they have, but I think she's that arrogant. I know she says otherwise and has said it vehemently, but this is about preparing herself, if all things fall in line, to getting a coalition of Hillary supporters to beg her to run again in 2020 to stop this demon we have in the White House, according to them. And this is not about being humble or this is about or telling a story. This is about running again. This is about something more than that. It's about shaping a legacy. And I think that she believes that she can start now and get this narrative because we all knew she was going to run for 3 or 4 years. She never stopped running for president since Bill Clinton left office. And so we knew she was going to run, and she had plenty of opposition to that run. The biggest mistake she made was working in the Obama State Department as Secretary of State and then taking, of course, a leopard can't lose its spots. And so what she did is she basically went back to her old ways, the old Clinton ways of running things, is trading favors in the State Department for Clinton Foundation donations, and WikiLeaks sort of proved that. And the American people already sensed it, and the mainstream media was unwilling to cover it, but they were left with no choice. So we had something unprecedented. This is all about, changing the narrative and creating a different story, rewriting history, which is what liberals love to do, in order to pave the path for their future aspirations. I wouldn't be shocked at all if after 2018 she's had a change of heart and she's running for re-election.
Good heavens. I really appreciate your comments this morning, and we've been talking to the publisher of Talk40.com, Brian Crabtree. Brian, I enjoyed it. You got to come back. You got to promise when I give you a call, you'll come back in the future.
Anytime.
All right, sir. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you much. Brian Crabtree, and a very interesting political insight with him this morning on Zeb at the Ranch. Thank you very much. Oh, the weather. The weather, you say. We've got to get to the weather? I can do that. And it's brought to you by Phillips, Oakes, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. CPAs that have been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. Really helping you. And helping you maybe change your retirement plans, or maybe those of us that are getting on Social Security, or planning income for retirement, or working with businesses that are maybe changing from a business going to a partnership or corporation, whatever. Get a hold of them today. Phillips, Oakes, Goodwin, Crane, and Company, with offices in Burley and Rupert. Right now, here's the weather.
From the canyons of the Snake River.
Well, it looks like we do have some rain showers in the forecast as we make our way to the weekend. For today, it's going to be partly cloudy skies, but this afternoon we do have a 20% chance of thunderstorms in the forecast with a high of 83. Tonight, more clouds rolling in, 30% chance of Rain showers and thunderstorms in the forecast with a high of 57. And for tomorrow, looks like a 60% chance of rain showers with a high of 72. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ram.
And we even had some bonus music in the background. And that, of course, the weather is brought to you by Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. CPAs that care with the best of tax return preparation, tax planning, payroll services, retirement planning, etc. 2 locations to serve you, Burley and Rupert. You better believe it. Call them today. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Okay, now it's your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. I'd like to visit with you about any subject you want to talk about for about the next 8 minutes. And give me a call right now, please. Tomorrow, we will be over at Ramsey Heating and Electric, and that's, of course, at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. It's kind of a special deal because I think it's going to be the 18th year or so that we've celebrated a campaign called Hats Off to Farmers, and also we take a lot of pride in Patriots Week. And my thanks to George and Donna Mass. They're going to be serving breakfast over there at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, biscuits and gravy. Oh, it's going to be good. And the proceeds from that biscuits and gravy breakfast are going to go to Zeb's Christmas Corral so that we can help needy families at Christmas time. So we really appreciate your being there. Then we're going to be broadcasting live for the 3 hours on our program tomorrow from Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, celebrating Hats Off to Farmers for all the wonderful, great farming and ranching we have here in this area. And, of course, Patriots Week. And we've got a lot of veterans coming by to visit and everything, so come on down. We're going to have door prizes. We've got all kinds of goodies at Ramsey Heating and Electric tomorrow from 8:00. Actually, the breakfast at 7 all the way through 11 o'clock. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, I was really considering this climate change and how people want to, these Hollywood types, whether it's Oprah Winfrey or Dennis Quaid or the list goes on and on of all these kooks and nuts that want us to get rid of everything and live in basically a sod hut of 150 years ago. Have you really thought about food? Have you really thought about how John Deere tractors or great big Massey Fergusons are going to get up and down the field with maybe a little sun reflector on the hood for solar energy power or a little bitty wind turbine attached to the roof? Come on. Have you thought about where and how the food is going to get to market? How it's going to get to the grocery stores? Oh, all the trucking companies overnight are literally going to go to battery-operated trucks for transportation? Oh, and who's going to bear the cost of all this? You and I. We are looking at a time in our lives right now where the people that are devoid of common sense are trying to push us into a complete regressionary state. Honestly, we've got to be very careful that their thoughts and their wishes do not come to fruition. Our whole country, our whole world could be absolutely upended with absolute heinous costs and expenses that would put most people out of business. Think about it. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And we've got these fruitcakes that are teaching our kids this in grade schools, junior highs, high schools, and colleges, and you really can't blame today's younger generation. We can say, well, they don't have any common sense. They don't have the education. Well, we'd better step up and do something about it. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Did you hear? I'm trying to find the story that I had earlier this morning. Well, we'll take this call first. Pardon me. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Well, hello there.
Hi there, stranger.
Can you hear me?
I am answering you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. What are we going to do with all these batteries when they go bad?
Well,
you know, we're such an environmental-friendly country. What are we going to do with them?
Well, Keith, this is a question that's been asked for quite some time now. What are we going to do with the batteries? We're going to have more bad things happen to the environment with the batteries. But not only that, you've been in the car business, and what does the average right now electric car sell for?
30,000.
All right. Let's just leave it at 30,000. And if all of a sudden the government made a dictate that, no more gas burning fossil fuel cars or pickups on the road, let's say by 2020, 3 years from now. I mean, how are families going to finance 2 or maybe even 3 electric vehicles? How are farmers going to plant their crops in the spring and harvest in the fall? How are trucking companies going to get the goods and services all across the United States? How, my friend? Tell me.
Well, I can say one thing. We are so dependent on our transportation. Go out there this morning and take the battery out of your car and try to go somewhere.
Yeah.
You can't do it. You know, it's going to be impossible. And if they shut down the grid, which is very entirely possible
Yep.
because of so much usage, you're not going to be able to go anywhere if you got an electric car.
The only thing I want to say, and I've got to go to the news right now, Keith, is that I'm sick and tired of listening to stupid people, whether they write for the Times News, whether they live in Twin Falls, whether they live in Boise or wherever. I'm sick and tired of listening to stupid people that have an agenda but no answers. I've got another quick call, Keith. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Quick caller. I've only got about 45 seconds. Go ahead.
One other thing to think about, you put batteries in these big trucks, it's going to have to be some big batteries.
Woo-hoo.
Well, they're limited on weight, so they're going to haul a whole lot less food and produce.
There you go. And
if they cut down on the energy, like gas, your gas-fired electric plants and your coal-fired electric plants, where are they going to get the energy to charge these batteries?
I agree with you. I've got to run to the news, but I certainly appreciate your comment. But Doug, thank you very much. We are going to take a little break right now, and then the Incredible Bulk is coming up next at 10:06. Yes, you know who it is. He answers the phone by saying, "Shadow, come here. Shadow, come here." Kelton Hatch, Idaho Fish and Game, and we'll have him up next. Wheels, take it away. Okay. All right. Good morning and welcome back to Zeb at the Ranch. Of course, I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. Would you leave things alone? And, of course, our other great advertisers include Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. You can always tell when Hatch is here from the Fish and Game. He's got to be playing or picking up everything on the desk, including a baseball bat. So stand by just a minute. We're going to have the Fish and Game report. If you're not good, I'm going to call Dr. Bill over at Ark Animal Hospital and take care of you. Hey, don't forget Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street, near Connection Credit Union in Hayburn. The number to call is 678-1177. Oh, my goodness, a mixed animal practice, meaning big or small, and we got the big in the studio. They love them all, so they can take care of them. Whether it's a kitty, cat, or a cow, they can help you at Ark Animal Hospital. And believe me, Dr. Bill and the crew, very, very professional, serving you where they have warm hearts for cold noses. Ark Animal Hospital over in Hayburn, 678-1177. This is a true story, folks. Honestly, I have learned over the years that Kelton Hatch has been on this program. One day, he did not show up. He forgot the program. He was out honestly chasing turkeys over in Oakley. So from that point on the night before or the morning of, I always call and remind him that he's supposed to be here for a program. And here, honestly, is what I heard when I dialed his cell phone this morning, and all of a sudden it clicked on, and I hear this: Shadow! Shadow, come here. Shadow, Shadow. What were you doing?
Well, like we always talk about, I was getting my dogs into shape. That's one of my bird dogs.
Shadow, come here.
Shadow, come.
Yeah. And you didn't even realize you were on the phone?
I did, but I've got 4 dogs, and when you're putting them in the kennels and you're right at that critical moment, and I saw it was you, so I didn't want to, I couldn't stand to bear to miss your call. And so I answered and thought
this is nauseating.
No, I'm just trying to kennel my dogs up. It's like I said earlier. It's just a good thing I was being on good terms with her this morning.
I am from this point onward. I'm always going to refer to you as Shadow. Come here.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
How are things with the Idaho Fish and Game, Shadow?
It's busy.
It's hunting season.
It's hunting season.
Yeah.
Everybody goes, oh, isn't that the worst time of year? And I go, no, it's the best time of year, because right now we get to kind of neck all our projects down, and we're concentrating more on just hunting.
Neck?
Well, so you're not doing so many things.
I see.
You
have a weird way of phrasing things.
Necking it down.
You went to school at Utah State, didn't you?
Yeah. North Gem first. So, which makes Murtaugh look like a big town.
But really, what's all going on as far as hunting season is concerned right now? Elk's open, isn't it?
Elk, deer, pronghorn, upland game birds open on Saturday.
There's a great big herd of pronghorns less than 5 miles from here.
Okay, did you hear that, everybody?
Yeah.
People that have been calling, trying to get a tag in 55. Yeah, no, we've got a lot of pronghorn this year and a lot of
I saw a herd the other day with Deanne, and I'm not exaggerating. There was 20 plus in that herd.
Oh, just up above your house here?
Yep.
How do you like the moon dust up there?
I'm telling you what, we went up there on the four-wheeler Saturday, and it was so bad in some locations, we had to literally stop because we couldn't see if we were going to run off a cliff or not. It's terrible up there.
We need some. Well, I joke about the moon dust, but when you say moon dust and you think about it's got to be kind of, because when you see the astronauts jump out, it's chalky.
Same thing.
It's chalky.
There's one spot up there where Deanne hit it, and I thought, I'll never see her again.
It's like, no, I was headed up there to do some patrolling last week during archery season.
Oh, man.
And it's like, I had to lock the truck into four-wheel drive in one spot because the powder...
It's deep.
It was 8 inches deep.
It's like being in a dry quicksand.
Oh, it is.
And when you get out there with a four-wheeler, you just kind of look up and you look to the heaven and say, God, take me now.
Yeah, well, all I can say is when it rains, the first dude up there is going to be up to their axles in mud.
Up to their what?
Axles.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you articulated.
Yeah, no, it's going to be, and this, I know this is...
I don't remember it being that bad either.
I've never seen it this as bad as it's just been a really, really dry summer.
Yeah.
And so, but we're supposed to get rain tomorrow and the next day. So
can you imagine that guy hitting that at about 30 miles an hour? Oh, my.
Yeah. But no, this is kind of out of line. Not out of line, but
it always is on this program.
Out of subject matter. But I'm just going to bring up a thing. When you're up there hunting, just be cautious and things like that. It was kind of interesting. I'm up patrolling and I see this motorcycle coming down the trail.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to pull over and I can see he's bow hunting because there's a bow on there.
That's the first clue.
First clue. And so
nothing gets by the fishing game.
No, they don't. We're like, it's just wow. He's bow hunting. He's got a bow. But the interesting thing is he had an arrow knocked in the bowstring, with the bow being carried on his motorcycle while he's driving down the road.
This isn't good.
It's legal.
It is?
It's legal. But I'm guessing the thing that when you're up there, guys, just be safe.
Be heck to pull up next to somebody and have that thing go twang.
Well, I would hate to tip over on the motorcycle with an arrow on there and just happen to liver myself, with a broadhead. And so it's like, just sometimes we try to do things to be more prepared, and it's just it's a dangerous situation. It's also not the best for the public perception of hunting.
Well, no, let's be more definitive here on the hunting seasons, though. I mean, bow and arrow season is open for...
Until the end of the month.
Until the end of the month for what? Deer?
Elk and deer.
Elk and deer.
And pronghorn until the 24th or 3rd, something like that.
Okay.
And then we have rifle, pronghorn opening on the 25th.
On the 25th of September.
And Saturday is the big opener for sage grouse.
Here.
And it's also opens up for your other species of birds because we've got rough grouse, blue grouse are already open, and then we'll have Hungarian partridge or gray partridge and chucker and quail also open on Saturday.
Yeah, but now pheasant doesn't open until like what, mid-October?
Mid-October.
So
we've got.
See, I knew that.
You're doing good.
Yeah.
And so there's a ton of stuff going on right now. And
I've seen a lot of pheasants this year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good year this year. One thing I want to ask sportsmen when they're out doing, when you see the wing barrels, and to kind of explain, like at the mouth of Dry Creek or Indian Springs or over in Trapper Creek and in different areas around here, we put a wing barrel out. And what that is for is when people shoot sage grouse, rough grouse, huns, chuckers, anything they shoot, if they can cut those wings off, one wing, and throw it in that wing barrel, it helps us. Because what we do is we have we bring all the wings together from across the state into the Magic Valley office, and then we go age and sex the birds from their wings.
Really?
So we can pull the wings out of the barrel, and it gives us an idea on how the age of the sage grouse that are out there according to the overall harvest. And this is going to take a second to explain, but if we find more young bird wings in there, we know we had a good hatch. And it kind of gives us an idea that we're probably on an upward trend with sage grouse. And if the larger percentage of the birds that are in there are older birds, means we didn't have as many chicks this last year, and people are harvesting older birds and they're not seeing as many young. Because typically when you have a good hatch, you have a lot more young on the out there, and they're easier to shoot because they're a little slower and things like that. And so it kind of gives us another monitoring tool to monitor overall populations. And we use those for rough grouse, sharp-tailed grouse, sage grouse. We'll look at them for huns and chuckers. We don't leave them. It's not as necessary for the huns and chuckers. The main things are for the sage grouse and sharp-tail. When sharp-tail opens on October 1st.
Okay, so the sportsman can really help you with your studies.
It helps them too. It helps us understand what the populations are doing out there, where we're getting more harvest. Because those wing barrels kind of show us where the numbers of hunters are coming out of those canyons and how much pressure we're getting on there in those areas. And so when you see those wing barrels, please pull over and throw the wing. We don't need the whole, clear to the armpit on the bird, the whole. Because sometimes people get
I didn't know it was called an armpit.
Well,
that's not a very scientific terminology.
Not, but it's the easiest thing to explain. You know where that is, the whole wing. We take it right off at the body.
Yep.
We just needed that first joint just so we have that bottom. What happens sometimes is we'll get little carnivores, little predators that will crawl in those wing barrels, and they have a tendency to tear all the wings up, trying to find when they can smell too much meat in there. You don't need it all the entire wing, but just the end down there.
That was really well stated.
Well, thank you.
Shadow, come here. Okay. What about tax exchange problems? Or tag exchange? I read it, not tax exchange, tag exchange. You know what? I bet you I know what you're talking about.
What's that?
By the way, I did put in for that draw against 10,473 others.
Uh-huh.
I didn't do so well.
Well,
Can you give me my money back?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope. But I saw your name in there, so I put a little X on it.
And I didn't. Thank you.
I'm joking. I shouldn't joke about that because people do think they get blackballed.
Yes.
We can't do that. Sorry.
But what do you mean tag exchange problems?
Well, what happens is people early in the year will go out and buy a tag for an area because they're, my friends and I are all going to go hunt in this area. And then something happens when their friends don't end up going.
Yeah.
Change jobs, decide they don't like their other friend. So somebody comes back.
That happened to you a lot, didn't it?
It does. That's why I hunt by myself mostly. But
good reason. Shadow, come here.
But they bring those tags in, and they want to exchange them for another unit because they decide to hunt somewhere else.
Ooh. Is that legal?
Well, it is, as long as that season for your tag has not started. So, like, if I buy a Pioneer Zone elk tag and I have an archery stamp, right now I cannot exchange that tag for a Smokey Bennett Zone tag because I have the archery stamp, I have the tag in my pocket, and archery season's already started. If I buy the Smokey Bennett tag, Pioneer Zone tag for the later season muzzleloader hunt on there, well, that season hasn't opened yet. I don't have an archery stamp. I can exchange my tag. The way to look at it, if there's a possibility you were able to hunt on that permit or that tag, we cannot exchange it. As long as your season hasn't opened for you to have an opportunity, because sometimes we'll have people, they'll purchase a tag for like up there at the Pioneer Zone, they'll go up there and they'll hunt 2 weekends, and then they go, I'm not finding any any elk, I think I want to go hunt the Frank Church area with my rifle. And then they'll bring the tag in and say, well, I didn't kill an elk up here, can I get a tag for over here? And it's like, we can't do that because you've used that tag already to hunt on.
You basically ate part of the popcorn.
You have. And so and the reason I bring this up is we have this request about 5 or 6 times a day to exchange tags.
Are you kidding me?
No. Because people are how many times do you change your mind when you looked at a menu what you was going to eat, people just get it. People change their mind, and so they decide to do something else. They've purchased something and they say, "Well, it's not exactly what I want right now."
I see.
So as long as you haven't done that, the other thing while we're talking about that, we've also got resident and non-resident deer and elk tags. Non-resident elk tags and deer tags that are on sale for, like yourself, if you bought a general tag and you decided you went up and you archery shot your deer with your bow, and you said, well, I want to go rifle hunting, you could go buy a second tag right now.
Oh, you can?
At non-resident prices. So your second tag would be $300 for a deer tag, which is cheap. You look at it, if I was to go to Utah, it'd cost me $500 plus the gas to drive down there. Well, I can hunt another deer right here for $300. I can buy the non-resident tag. Non-resident tags are starting to sell really fast right now. Elk tags are down to less than 2,000, and we're still around 7,000 for the non-resident deer tags. The next month, those will really start moving out. We've sold out of all of them the last 3 years, and so if people are interested in getting those tags, you need to start watching that, because on Fridays is when we update how many non-resident tags are left, and they're starting to disappear quickly. And
now, I've heard from a lot of sportsmen that are avid hunters, and they said this year could be a banner year for harvest of big game hunting.
We've been just having some incredible animals that have been harvested. We had a gentleman that had the bighorn sheep tag down south here and shot could be one of the top, probably in the top 5 in the country.
Really?
Bighorn sheep. And then we've had several nice mule deer, and we've had 2 or 3 good elk that I've seen come through.
I've seen some of the deer, some of the bucks. Whoa.
Yeah.
Big dudes.
Yep.
Okay, caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Kelton and my friend Zeb. You two are the most entertaining things on radio today. I'd rather listen to this show than anything, because you guys are both very sharp-witted. But the question of the day is, would you please tell these deer hunters and elk hunters to quit complaining about how much the meat is in the stores? Because they're out there trying to get some $10 a pound meat.
Yeah. Well,
you got a comment on that?
All right, we'll do that over the air. Thank you for listening. Shadow, come here. Go ahead.
No, it's kind of funny when people. I always joke about bird hunting with my wife. I said the reason I bird hunt is because she's worth getting the most expensive meat available.
Yeah.
I figure it's only like $25 an ounce.
Yeah.
For the time
you really do take your wife out bird hunting?
I do.
And you give her a shotgun?
Well, you bet. She's a better shot than I am.
And you trust her?
I do.
Do you actually go hunting together after there might have been a marital spat?
You know, I'm not. Yeah,
she could turn into like Dick Cheney did a couple of years ago down in Texas.
Yeah, yeah. I've never.
And you got to admit, as big as you are, you're a good target.
Well, it's pretty easy. It could be. She could get away with it probably because it just I blocked that side of the valley.
Yeah.
So
we don't need to have a solar eclipse. Okay.
So, but no, it is big game hunting. A lot of it is just for the fun and getting out there and enjoying it.
I told you this on the air, I think it was 2 programs ago. The year that we all drew up in the South Hills, and we went up there, there was about 9 of us that went up. We had more fun in the camp and the storytelling and the campfires, and it's just a lot of camaraderie.
It is. You know, and it's interesting. You get talking about that. Right now online, we're doing a survey why people like to mule deer hunt.
Yeah.
What their goals are with mule deer hunting. And so if you go to our Fish and Game website, you can actually go on there and fill that out. But one of the questions on there is, you know, one of the reasons I like hunting is not to harvest big game animals, but it's for the camaraderie.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that we find. People in Idaho want to hunt every year. They want to have the opportunity to hunt because it's a family or tradition. It's fun to get out with their family, their buddies, and do things like that and spend, you know, some days up in the hills just sitting around. Some of the greatest memories I have are sitting around just joking around at night around the campfire.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, I feel very fortunate this year. I've got a nice 5-day hunt planned with my youngest son.
Really?
And we're going to go up into the Frank Church and spend a week up there. And, you know, the other times that we've had, you know, I've been able to do this with all my kids, and people go, oh, that's a waste of time and money, you know, because meat's expensive and stuff.
No.
You know, even if you're just to have that one-on-one time with a kid or your family, it's worth every penny.
My son's hunting right now as we speak.
Yeah.
As we speak. He's an avid hunter.
Yeah.
I mean, him and Lance Sellers used to play football for the Dolphins and the Vikings. They're good buddies, and they go all over the United States hunting.
Yeah.
And they're doing it right now.
Yeah. And it's fun, just the camaraderie to get out there and just enjoy it. And it's a great time of year.
I have a hard time picturing in my mind you and I around a campfire up in the woods way back in.
With a firearm?
I'm having second thoughts. What's this about rule changes that you want to talk about?
Rule changes.
Yeah, you wrote it.
Rule change. Okay. One thing I just kind of want to give people the heads up. A lot of times we kind of get we figure we know what the rules and regs are for big game hunting.
Yeah.
And I have to apologize because we have so many regulations anymore. It's just it's a struggle for me working in the business full time to keep up with all the regulation changes. And the reason these
do you have to be able to recite those chapter and verse?
Well, people expect you to because I mean you get it's like being on this radio show.
You're like the Billy Graham of the Fish and Game.
Well, yeah, but I'm not reciting the Bible.
Oh, okay.
So other than the hunting Bible, I guess, but. We've had probably the most prominent changes for this year, the ones that we're concerned mostly about. We had a fairly hard winter in some of the areas last year. We've dropped the youth doe hunting opportunities in a lot of our units. In years past, kids under the age of 17, if they had a deer tag in their pocket, could shoot a buck or a doe in Unit 56, Unit 48, and Unit 49 in the Magic Valley region. Those units this year are buck only for youth. There's a few other changes in there, but what I really recommend is before you head out, grab the regulations, look over them to make sure that there's been no changes to your hunting units that you're hunting in this year.
So the hunter's got to be aware as to maybe some changes that would affect what he can and can't do.
What he can and can't shoot or do or drive or anything else. And, you know, people get really frustrated, and I understand. We have so many changes that happen in this, and it's because of issues that happened the year before or problems that we run into or comments that we get from sportsmen. And that's why sometimes I feel like we're trying to legislate ethics. You can't legislate ethics. People have to have their own own moral values and their own ethics. And sometimes our regulations get too out in the weeds on the ethics, but it's because we see a problem there, and we're trying to legislate it, but people always come up with a new idea. And so we end up having to add another line in the regs.
Let's take a quick call, and then I've got a break at the bottom of the hour. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. I have a question for Mr. Hatch. We have a problem with turkeys, not necessarily the two-legged kind. Well, they are two-legged kind, but not necessarily the human kind of turkeys in Albion. Right now, we've got citizens that are calling and saying there's a flock of at least 20 in their yards. They're decimating their gardens. They're making messes all over their yards. We know that those are being pushed up from down lower where the dam is and pushed up into the valley up there. What can we do about the herd, the flock, the enormous number of wild turkeys that we've got up there?
It sounds to me that 20 families could have a very happy Thanksgiving.
I have mentioned that to people.
Go ahead quickly, Kelton, and then I've got a break.
You know, we're very aware of what's going on over there. We have our landowner sportsman's coordinator that's been working on some projects. We don't know that we're going to come over and trap them or what's going to happen. I don't know exactly how, but we are aware, and we're going to try to get something taken care of. We're still befuddled where these turkeys come from because befuddled. Because whether they were a local flock that somebody had released and had raised on their own. Because,
really?
Well, we have no turkeys. The nearest turkeys to there was Cottonwood, was the only place that they were
that's
released.
where I knew there's a bunch of them.
It's quite a ways from there because you had to go over those big hills to get down to where they're at right now. We've had them over in Goose Creek.
And they can't shoot them, huh?
No, because there's no season on them in that.
Yeah, but if they're destroying their gardens,
well, they can haze them.
Haze them.
And so
we were wondering if we could do a fundraiser in the valley there and do a turkey lasso.
Do a turkey what?
Lasso.
I'll rope them, yeah. Well, you see,
got a couple of lassos there. I'm sure we could borrow a couple of his.
Yeah.
And we could do a turkey lasso. They wouldn't be actually shooting them, but then they would also be able to have the bird and, at their discretion, have it for dinner or whatever.
You know, I probably will have to say the ixnay on the roping them, but because they're still state-owned animals now that they're released, and so it's kind of like if you have deer in your yard, you can't just shoot them. And so we're definitely working on it. I know it's frustrating. Our concern is this winter because most likely they're going to pick somebody's backyard and roost in it, and then they're going to have all the turkeys that are there making a mess in their backyard underneath a big roost tree, and it's going to get worse.
You think ice is bad to slip on?
And so the worst is yet to come with those turkeys, and so most likely we'll try to get them out of there.
I got to take a break. I'm running late. Take care of your birds up there, lady, and we'll be back right after this. Don't go away.
And now back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
I want to talk to our senior citizens for a moment. And if you're living at home alone, all the many hazards that you face every day at home, that maybe you need to think about moving into Pomerel Place, a place for senior living in Burley. You know, the isolation, the safety hazards, the possible injuries, poor nutrition at home, missed medication, all of these things, absolutely, you need to think about your welfare and your better care. Senior living offers the ability for seniors to maintain their independence both safely and comfortably. Please call the great folks at Pomerel Place, 1301 Bennett Street in Burley. The number to call, 677-8212, Pomerel Place in Burley. Also, quickly, I want to remind everybody about Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox. My goodness, whether it's a gas furnace, an air conditioner, or a heat pump, you and your family will enjoy the comfort. As a Lennox independent dealer since 1957, they know the climate, they know the equipment, and they've done the shopping for you. Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox, saving you money. Right now, we're on the air. Would you just sit still for a minute? Idaho Fish and Game, Kelton Hatch.
I just had a thought when you was talking about that restaurant.
Well, you always have a thought that ends up giving me in trouble. Never mind.
I just wonder if they'd let you do your radio show
Would
there.
you just be quiet? Shadow, come here. Shadow, come here. Now let's get serious for a minute, because this is a serious topic, and you and I both have talked about this many, many times. Poaching. It's not anything to laugh at.
It isn't. And if it's that time of year, and I'm sorry, sometimes we have some bad behavior out there.
Oh, really?
We do.
Sometimes there's bad behavior here, too.
Well, that's true.
Shadow, come here.
And so, and I get so many comments from people, well, I saw these people doing this, and I go, well, did you call anybody? Well, no, we just, we turned around and drove off. And I'm sitting here going, I said, that's one way to face it. And I mean, a lot of people are still going to do that. We don't want you, if you're up there, don't confront somebody if they're doing something wrong. That's not your job. It's also probably not a safe thing to do, because some of these guys,
the idiots that are out there
with things going on.
Yeah.
But I guess the thing is just be a good witness. If you don't want to see that type of action happening, citizens have to stand up and make a stand.
Yeah.
If you don't want to see that type of stuff happening, I talk to landowners about trespassing and stuff like that, and I go, if it's a constant issue, you really have to be willing to sign the citation, because and once they do that, the people aren't going to come back and trespass. That's the same thing with poaching activities and stuff. If people will take a picture, if they'll get a license plate number, if they'll be a good witness.
That's a big help.
A good witness is all we need.
Yep.
The CAP hotline is 1-800-632-5999.
Yeah.
And so call that number. You can remain anonymous. Because I've had people go, well, we just don't want it to come back on us, and I can understand that.
Well, wait a minute. What they're doing by basically turning a blind eye and a deaf ear, they're hurting all sportsmen for the future.
Well, they are, and they're also basically saying, well, it's okay with me that they do this.
That's right.
Because if you don't make a stand, and so our goal is we always know there's going to be accidents or incidents. That's another thing I really want to put out there. We're not. I promise you, we're not out there trying to get you doing something wrong.
Oh, come on, you are too.
My goal out there is the people that are doing it on purpose.
Yep.
Is to get them, if there's an accident that happens, if you're up there and you actually shoot a buck in a doe tag, and
it can happen.
It can happen.
You betcha.
If you end up, you squeeze the trigger on your shotgun on Saturday and 2 sage-grouse fall out of the sky instead of just one,
it can happen.
It can happen.
Not with me, because of the way I shoot.
Well, it could happen still, but
they'd want to commit suicide.
Yeah, they flew toward the light.
Into the barrel, into the barrel.
And so, but things do happen. Just be forthright.
Be honest.
Give us a call. Give us a call as soon as you get a chance. If 2 animals hit the ground and you only have 1 permit, field dress the other animal.
Yep.
Make sure you save the meat. Come off the hill and tell us that what has happened, and so that we can know. I can't say that all the time there's not going to be something but I promise you that it's going to be greatly reduced.
Yeah.
And if you've got it underneath the tarp in the back of your truck trying to sneak it out. From
a center of the city hanging, it'll go to a public flogging.
Thanks. That really helped things out, Zeb. But no, it's not our goal to get the people that accidentally make mistakes.
Yeah, one thing that I got to say this again, and you and I have talked about this many times on the program. Not only a respect for private property, but what about a little respect for the land, public lands? I mean, we were up there, as I said, Saturday. Mm-hmm. I saw water bottles. I saw beer cans. I saw Pepsi cans. I saw Twinkie wrappers. What is the matter with these ninnies that they can't carry it back home? It's driving me nuts. Am I the only one?
Well, I know. Sometimes I feel like we both of you and I are very opposed to this. And sometimes I think we overstress it, but I don't know that we can overstress it. It's just we've got more and more people moving in the Magic Valley every day.
Yeah, but
the area is growing.
And courtesy.
Every day it's growing. So what 2 or 3 people may have been doing before, there's lots more people that are doing that, and it's getting worse out there. So everybody has to do their part about cleaning up after themselves.
When I had an outfitting business back in the 80s, we had a policy: pack it in, pack it out.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not saying that I'm any better than anybody else, but I really appreciate the beauty of God's world right here in southern Idaho.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And when I see a Twinkie wrapper and these beer cans, I get to thinking, what's the matter with these people? Were they raised in I have no idea if they were raised whatsoever.
Mixing Twinkies and beer is kind of a rough one anyway, but
yeah, what are you talking about? That was your mainstay at Utah State.
Well, probably. But no,
you wore your football helmet on sideways too.
Yeah, I do like Twinkies. No, we really just need to get people to take care of their own. If they see issues going on, if some of their hunting buddies aren't following those rules, just stand up to them and keep things. It's for everybody. And the more we can respect private property, the more private property that will remain open for people to hunt. And so, I mean, this is kind of a two-edged sword. So give us a call. It's 1-800-632-5999.
Can they report people that are also leaving trash up there?
If it's something that's really bothering them, you bet. If it's a bad littering, we do write littering citations.
Good.
If we come into areas like that, and so
we take a lot of pride in our lawn here, as you know. And then when you wake up in the morning and you find all these cans and bottles and wrappers on your yard, honestly, what I've said I'd like to do is find out where they live and then take not bags of garbage over there, but recycled alfalfa, if you get my drift, and pile it on their front porch.
Yeah. No, it's frustrating. It is frustrating. And so, but it's that time of year, more people up in the hills, so let's just take care and keep our eyes open.
What's this about? Oh, we have a call, and then I've got to do a weather forecast. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Kelton, I had a question for you. I see the numbers come out a week or so ago of how many deer and how many elk were killed last year, and that's all guesstimation. Why do we send these cards in and tell you how many we killed, and then you guess at it? And I think your guess is so far off that it isn't close.
Well, the guess is from the cards that you send in. That's how we get that guess. And the reason it's still a guess is because we have no way of making it mandatory. I mean, it's a mandatory report that we only get about 80% on. 75% of the people that actually went hunting last year will send us in those reports. One other interesting thing that happens on those reports is that we get people that will be in a buck-only area that will mark that they killed a doe in the unit they hunt. So not every hunter knows exactly where they're at when they're up in the hills, and so we get some very marginal information even from the mandatory reports. And so what we're doing is our best guess on the information that we get, and we do believe that those numbers are really solid on what our harvest rates are and stuff like that.
All right, sir.
I've been hunting my whole life. In the last 5 years, I've seen 5 deer in 5 years. And years before that, you'd see 20, 50, 60 head of deer. And I've seen 5 deer in 5 years. What the hell's going on?
Well, wait a minute.
66,000 deer. Where in the hell am I looking at?
They
change the color of them outfits or what?
Well, no. I do know that things have. I'm guessing you're probably hunting 56. Is that the unit you're hunting?
52A.
52A. Okay. And I understand the frustration. There's been some habitat changes in some of those areas, and I do know that I run into this a lot with elk, that will have people that have gone to the same honey hole for the last 10 years, and all of a sudden there's no elk in there. They do start utilizing different parts of those units. We do fly those units every 5 years, and we do try to monitor those numbers to our very best of our ability. And so I really don't know what to say about that.
All right, well,
I appreciate his call.
Thank you, sir.
Call me at the office. Call me at the office, and we can discuss it more.
And that number is 324-4359.
Thank you.
There you go. Hey, I got to get a weather forecast on here. I'm running late. Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657. Or you can go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com. Oh, have they got the delicious meats, the bratwurst, and various flavors. How would you like to have these brats in your freezer? I'd love them. Jalapeno cheddar, apple cinnamon, German, Italian, chorizo. All those brats from our friends at Scarrows Meats. Absolutely delicious. You be sure and get a hold of them today. Retail meats right there at the location at 331 North Road, Jerome. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Well, it looks like we do have some rain showers in the forecast as we make our way to the weekend. For today, it's going to be partly cloudy skies, but this afternoon we do have a 20% chance of thunderstorms in the forecast with a high of 83. Tonight, more clouds rolling in, 30% chance of rain showers and thunderstorms in the forecast with a high of 57. And for tomorrow, looks like a 60% chance of rain showers with a high of 72. That is your weather for Zebeth Reyes.
Brought to you by Don Scarrow and the crew at Scarrows Meats. 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657. I bit my tongue. I'll say it again, 324-7657. And they are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. What's this about no trail rules and no N-O trailblazing?
You know, every year we get a lot of comments and questions about the motorized vehicle rules and off trails and stuff like that. We're just trying to warn people on that they're starting to issue more citations and stuff for off trail use of ATVs and motorcycles and things like that. They're in the phase of the travel plans and things like that. So try to adhere to the rules of the Forest Service and the BLMs, or don't try, but adhere to the rules of the Forest Service and the BLM. We do have motorized vehicle rules in our big game regulations in some of those areas. So we're just asking people to be cognizant of that. I hate
cognizant.
Utah State. That's a big
Shadow,
one for me.
come here.
My dog's going to come and sit on your lap here in just a few minutes.
That's Kuzo.
And so, but no, we have a lot of issues with this. Out of the number one complaint, simply the number one complaint that I get from sportsmen are out of everything. That's why I guess it's number one. But
nothing gets by you, Kelton.
No. It is illegal use or misuse of motorized vehicles. Yeah. And we have issues with that every year on private property when people are out running through people's planted fall wheat or fall winter barley or
that
winter
does
wheat.
Not set well.
No,
and nor should it.
It shouldn't. Or out in somebody's hayfield when they don't have permission.
Yeah.
Or just bahaan across the sagebrush where they're not supposed to be.
Bahaan. How does that? What is that? Bahaan across?
It's like going like the devil.
Going.
You're getting chased by the devil and you're trying to get across the sagebrush.
Bahaan.
Bahaan.
Okay, Bahaan.
Have you ever heard like the Baja races?
Yeah.
The Baja.
Not from a fish and game officer recently.
Cross country racing.
What about fire danger? This is another serious topic right here.
It is.
We were up there Saturday, and boy, I got to be honest with you, it looks like a tinderbox up there.
It is. BLM has actually dropped the stage one.
I heard that.
Yeah. Fire restrictions on there, but people still need to be very cautious.
Can you go bahaing across it?
That would give you a good fire start. It could. And so that's another reason, because we do have issues with the dryness right now. So
we need some rain.
Oh, we do. I'm hoping Gino was right.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we get some precip. I know.
But you know what 20% means.
20% means we're not getting it.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're right.
But, just enough on people's hay that they won't be able to bell it.
Yeah.
But, you need to be cautious about that.
What about the restrictions? Now, if you're up hunting, honestly, can you build a little campfire or not?
In some of the areas, I know that there's still restrictions across the state on certain areas that you can't have open fires.
Okay.
You just need to check the area before you go to that area. I'm not going to give it a blanket because it's sure as shooting. I'll say, yeah, you can start a fire and somebody will get a citation.
Yeah.
And so you need to check.
So be careful.
Be careful up there.
And if you're on a four-wheeler, don't turn the engine off while it's hot in tall grass.
Well, or trucks or anything.
Yeah, really.
Stay out of the tall grass. I was going to, if I got just a second, I wanted to go over...
1 second, time's up.
Okay.
Shadow, come here.
A couple things that we need to... I just want to warn people about, or not really warn, but think about again before you head it out. When you harvest your animal, validate your tag.
Yes.
The most common citations that end up that are, whether it's accident or by design, is non-validated tags. People trying to come out of the hills and their tag has not been punched.
Right.
The other one was evidence of the sex of the animal.
Right.
And so make sure you leave evidence of sex naturally attached to the animal. If it's a buck, you can leave the antlers on it. If it's a doe, you can leave the head on it. But if you break them down, you have to leave other parts of their anatomy on there so that we know what it is.
Oh, what parts are those?
You can explain, Zeb. You can give the Biology 101 class.
Okay.
We're leaving it there for my part.
How come your face is red?
It's not.
Oh, okay.
Yours is, however.
Moving right along, I want to remind everybody about our major sponsor while we still have them. And that's, of course, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. The best people and a great big fall tire sale going on right now. It's hard to imagine it's fall already and winter right around the corner. And they've got a great big fall tire sale going on right now. Stop in and check out the tires for your car, pickup, SUVs. This is the time to get tires. This is the time to make sure you drive safely. And don't forget the very best in brake service and front end alignments, shocks and struts, batteries, all of this and more with the best of service from all 7 locations. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. The best, always doing the right thing because it matters. Your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers.
I forgot one other thing. Sage and sharp-tailed grouse hunters.
Can you say that again without immersing your words altogether?
Sage and sharp-tailed grouse hunters need to pick up a sage and sharp-tailed grouse permit before heading out on Saturday.
You didn't say that.
I didn't. And so you need to get that. Sharp-tail is an opening.
Why can't you say the word sharp?
I have a rough time with S's.
I know, I'm soaking wet.
Sharp-tail haven't started. But sage grouse will be opening on Saturday, so you need to get that permit. Also, if you're out harvesting a few mourning doves, you have to have your migratory bird permit.
Migratory? It's migratory.
I'm just having.
You are so fortunate the Fish and Game gave you a job.
I have a thick tongue today.
Kelton Hatch, and where else would he be from?
I have to prime before I get here.
The Idaho Fish and Game Report. It's been interesting, and when are you going to leave for a hunting trip? You've got a hunting trip coming up.
I'm headed out Saturday for sure.
Saturday.
And then I'll probably, my big trip will be in August. August.
See, there he goes again.
October. The first
I'll give you a calendar before you leave.
Now, what we're taking off, and
August is something you look over your shoulder at.
I know, October.
Yeah.
And I'll hunt a couple days every week, probably.
Really?
In the evenings after work, or take a day off till January.
I've heard that you take many days off.
I try to.
There you go.
I try to. I save vacation for the fair, Christmas, and all fall.
There you go.
Summer vacations are not for me.
There you go.
I cannot stand going up in the mountains and camping in the summer with more people than I have in my neighborhood.
Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, you can always tell when Kelton's around you because you'll hear these words, Shadow, come here.
Well, I've also got Pepper, Ace, and Bo.
Yeah, I'm going to bring pepper spray is what I'm going to bring.
You see, you just happen to hear Shadow because I'd already gone through the other three.
Yeah, all right. Hey, we got to run. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, you swallowed that fast.
I did.
We'll be back tomorrow morning, 8:06, Zeb at the Ranch, the way things were, the way things ought to be. God bless. Have a great day. Thank you.